Hey, it's Tyler from Rehab to Fab Designs, and today I'm going to show you how we made these super cute DIY Christmas trees. The first thing you're going to want to do is head on over to your home improvement store where you can pick up some lumber. We usually go to Home Depot because we have one close by, but we also use Lowe's a lot. So you're going to pick up some 1x4s. We like to get ours from the furring strips section. These are super affordable, and they're also a little rough, so they're great for dry brushing projects, but you can pick up whatever you'd like. The height you want your trees to be will determine just how many pieces of wood you get, but as you know, if you shop at Home Depot, often you do get a better price if you buy in bulk, so that's typically what we do because we can always find some kind of project to use these boards on. For our set of trees, we are going to make one of them 4 boards high and the other one is going to be 3 boards high. So once you figure out how tall you want them to be, you'll know exactly how many boards you need. You can also decide how big you want them to be, and this will determine how long you cut your boards. For our taller tree, we cut our boards, the top one being 2 inches long, the middle one being 4 inches long, and the bottom one being 6 inches long. There is another small board at the very top of the tree. This is just cut as basically a triangle because it's going to be the very top portion. For that piece, we cut both sides at a 45-degree angle to create our triangle to make our tree top. The other boards also have 45-degree angles cut on each side to create the tree. Once my husband had the lengths marked off for our 2, 4, and 6-inch boards, he used a square to trace the 45-degree angle. Here you can see the tree is starting to take shape in the form of the lines that are drawn on the boards to get ready for cutting. To make the cuts, he used his miter saw. Simply set the saw blade at 45 degrees and you're ready to go. Easy peasy. This smaller board is the triangle piece that I was talking about. That will be the top of our tree. As you can see, he's just cutting the 45 degrees on both sides, and that is going to create our triangle. Continue cutting each end of all your boards at that 45-degree angle, and then you're done. For the stem of our tree, we used a 1x2 board that we had scrap laying around. We cut it at a length of 2.5 inches. The next step in the process is to use Gorilla wood glue to glue the pieces together. We're going to apply a strip of glue on the top of each board so that it will stick to the board above it. For the base of the trees, we're using a piece of 2x4. We are going to adhere the stem that we cut earlier to the bottom of the 2x4, and then our tree will sit right on top. To anchor the stem to the base, we're using a screw. Pre-drilling a hole in the 2x4 will make this much easier. Once you begin to insert the screw, you're going to go really slow until you can see just the tip of it coming through the other side of the 2x4. Then we're going to set our stem on top and gently finish it so it doesn't go through the wood. And now we have a base to set our tree on. To attach the base to the tree, we used another 1x2 to apply to the back of the tree and then also to the base itself. Once our two trees were put together, it was time for the fun part, paint and design. For that, you already know I'm using Dixie Belle Paint Company products. We're going to start off with a coat of chalk mineral paint, and then we're going to go from there. For that, I'm using a color called Cotton from the chalk mineral line, and I'm going to be using this Big Daddy brush that you see on the table beside me because I was already using it to make Christmas tree boxes for one, but for two, it's a great way to get paint on a project fast because of the size. So I'm just simply picking up paint off of my paper plate here. Again, it's the color Cotton, and I'm brushing it right over top of the wood. Because chalk mineral paint dries so fast, you can move quickly between projects. So by the time I got through putting the paint on my second tree, it was already dry on the first, so I could come back and get ready for the design portion. For that, I'm going to be using another chalk mineral paint. I'm using the color called Cobblestone. It's from the new Cottage release from Dixie Belle from back in the fall. It's a super great light tan color that's a great neutral, and I thought it would pair well with our Christmas decorations this year. So for that, I'm going to simply pour out some of the paint onto a plate once again, and I'm going to use the new Dixie Belle paint roller to apply paint over top of a Christmas stencil also from Dixie Belle. Anytime you're painting over a stencil, you want to make sure you get off any excess paint off your roller. So I'll roll it a couple of times in my plate to pick up paint. Then I will use a piece of cardboard, or I've got paper towels here to roll over top of it to remove any excess. And this will just keep it from bleeding so bad under your stencil. And speaking of stencils, this is the stencils I was talking about. This is the Christmas stencils that Dixie Belle came out with. They're going to be super cute on these Christmas trees. When using stencils, you want to make sure not to press down too hard because this can cause your paint to bleed up under it. So really using small amount of paint and gentle pressure is key to keep from having bleed through. If the stencils you're using are not large enough to cover the whole surface area of your project, simply lift them up gently and then lay them back down, as most of these stencils have a repeating pattern. Once my paint had dried, I came back with a sanding block and 150 grit sandpaper to sand and distress my project. The idea here is to get an old, distressed, worn out look because this is going to be rustic decor. For the stem and the base of my tree, I'm using the color Cobblestone once again. To give it kind of an antique look, I'm coming back with Tobacco Road Voodoo Gel Stain from Dixie Belle, and I'm going to rub this around the edges and in the creases. This is a water-based gel stain that Dixie Belle makes, so it's super easy to use. It dries really fast, just like the chalk paint, and it's super easy for cleanup. I'm simply putting some on a napkin and rubbing it right around the edges, and this is just to kind of dirty it up a little bit and make it a little more old and rustic. If the color gets heavier than you would like in some places, don't worry. All you have to do is simply spray your paper towel down with a little bit of water and then just wipe right back over it. This will lighten it up once again so that your color, or your stain rather, can stay more around the edges and not so much in the middle of the project. The last thing I did to complete this project was to just use the brush that I had been using to brush the cobblestone on the base of my tree, and I just kind of dry brushed it right over the sides of the boards where the angles are cut, and this is how it turned out. As you can see, these turned out super cute, and they were a really quick project for us. And the size is perfect for so many uses. You can put these on a fireplace mantle, you can set them on a kitchen countertop, or anywhere you'd like to add to your Christmas decorations. As always, thank you so much for watching. Be sure and subscribe to the Dixie Belle and Rehab to Fab Designs YouTube channels. Click on the bell to turn on notifications and drop any comments down below.